Owning an Airstream Classic is supposed to be a dream come true, but for us it's been more like a roller coaster. From electrical issues to heat and AC disaster, let me share what it's like to really own a luxury trailer. Quick disclaimer, this is a rent-like video, so for those of you that don't like this type of video, please click out. Hello, welcome back. So today we are taking this Airstream back to the dealership to get it looked at once again. So this will be the third time that we had to take it in for service. We're getting to the point where I don't know if we made a mistake with this Airstream or not. This is a brand new 24 30-foot Classic. The Airstream is 7,700 pounds base weight, and the max weight of this is 10,000 pounds. It is actually 31.5 feet long and 8.5 feet wide. Exterior height is 9'7" and the interior height is 6'7". So far, since we bought it back at the end of May, we've been on 4 trips, and every single one of those trips there is something wrong with it. And I actually have a book of all the documents and all the service that was done to this Airstream, and I'm just gonna go through it and show you today. I love this Airstream. It's a different lifestyle than the Rebel, and I liked it so much more, even though the towing is a little bit of a problem for me personally. It's a little bit intimidating, but once you get through that, once you're at a campsite or wherever you're going, it's beautiful. It's so comfortable. It's like there's so much room in here, and the bed is amazing. Everything about this is great. It's just that we can't get the electric and the heat and the AC, all of that to work. So the first time when we pick up the Airstream and driving home, the whole sink came off. Yeah, the entire sink came loose and completely separated from the countertop. It's drawer won't align right, and these keep coming off. Another thing was the electrical problem. We would have 100% on battery, and after 3 hours, our battery would shut down to 0, and our fridge started beeping in the middle of the night. And this is when we have no hookups. When we do have hookup, everything works perfectly. The AC runs, everything is nice. But when you're off grid or you're not hooked up to power, that's when all the electrical is not working properly. So we brought it in, they said, oh, all of your wires behind the walls are loose. And I was like, okay. When they were assembling this Airstream, I guess someone didn't do it properly, or maybe when it was in transit, the wire came loose. I don't know, but that was a huge issue when you can't have AC and it's 100 degrees outside. So that was the first problem. Let me see what else we have here. Oh, and another one is that our burner, our gas burner, even then, since they replaced it, I still have issue turning it on. It still doesn't like turn on automatically. You kind of have to hold it down. So that was another thing that they replaced on the first service. Our door, this door right here, was not aligned properly, so we couldn't lock it. There is a lock behind the handle right here, and that's locked. This below is the deadbolt. So we brought it to service. They fixed the door, they fixed the sink. They said that all of the wires behind the panel were completely loose. They replaced the stove, they fixed all the drawers. After that, we never encountered that issues again. But there is one thing that they couldn't fix. It's the sink faucet, and it is the bane of my existence. Every time the trailer moves, the faucet would turn on and the handle would just open on its own. So when we were pulling this Airstream for about 2 miles from our house to the storage, when we got to the storage, I noticed that the water was all over the counter. The faucet moved during that time. The water, instead of going to the sink, it went all over the counter. We asked Airstream to fix it, and they said that there's nothing they could do with it. We asked them if they could replace it with a new faucet. They said if we were to do that, yes, they could do it, but the warranty would be void, because anything that's wrong with the sink, meaning all of the wires going into the gray water and everything beyond that, the warranty won't cover it because we replaced a different part. So now we just secured with a band, and it's really frustrating and irritating that we have to do that. So we have kind of like floor heating that's controlled with propane and electric. So you could either use propane or electric, and they have kind of like a central heating system all around, and these vents right here, it's the one that release hot air, and it's kind of throughout the whole Airstream, and these vents weren't giving any heat. So that was another issue they had to look at. You know, it's kind of sad because this was a brand new Airstream. In my head, I was expecting everything to work perfectly, but with RVs, that's not always the case. We never have a lot of issue with the Revel. Everything worked as it should. This one is another story, and I think it's pretty common. I heard that the sink does come off for most of the Classic owners. You would think they would figure out a way to fix that since everyone's complaining about it, but no, even now, 2024, the sink is still an issue. So I hope they address that in the future models because that's just ridiculous. And Airstream service is great. This Airstream comes with a 3 years warranty when you buy new. You could get extended warranty on top of that too, that make it like 7 years warranty. I highly recommend you do that because all of this was free for service, I think. We pay some things in here, but all the electrical, the door, all of that was free. Okay, so then we bought in for the second time. And the second time was when we went on the California road trip. We were in Mammoth and our water heater didn't work. We wanted to take a shower. It was working at the beginning of our trip and then it just stopped working towards the end of it. Another thing was the electrical still not working properly. So here is all your control. To turn on the Airstream, you hold this down and the Airstream will turn on. I'm not sure if this flashing light is normal, but when we turn on the onboard mode, all the lights turn on. So that's really nice. And then when we're towing, I was told to put on away mode because when you put it on away mode, everything shuts off except for the refrigerator. The refrigerator should still be running. So the blue light, that means it's still on. So we did that for, I don't know, I think like 8 hours when we were towing this thing. And when we got to the campground, our battery was like 25%. So our solar panel didn't charge any of the battery. And then so we called Airstream because we were on a trip. They're like, oh, when you're on away mode, the solar battery doesn't charge. And I was like, that doesn't sound right. So I went on to Facebook group and asked around. They're like, no, it should be charging on away mode. So now that's another thing that we have to address on this third visit to the service. And then we keep getting an overheat red flag in the Audi system. Again, the Audi system is just a joke in this Airstream. It's just so ridiculous. I'm going to show it to you in a bit. Oh, and we also have this really weird thing. So in the bathroom here, this trim right here, they fixed it since then. This whole trim were coming off. Like the whole thing was separated from the Airstream. And even the service guy was like, we've never seen anything like that. So I don't know, maybe we just got a cursed Airstream, but it's really disappointing when you pay like almost 200 grand for an Airstream and you want everything to be working properly. So now I'm gonna go through the system. So this right here is the controller of the Airstream. I really like this. We are on the favorite page right now, and you can see the fresh water, the gray water, wastewater, LP and RP tanks. So these are the propane tanks right here. And this right here tells you your solar power right here is your battery. And if you scroll across, this right here controls all of the exterior light. This right here controls the interior light. So if I click on this, the light would turn off. Now the light here is off. And then climate control. This controls the AC. I wish that the heater would just be here also. And then this is the fan control. And in this Airstream, we have 2 AC. One of it is in the dining area and another one is in the bedroom area. That's where the other one is. And then there is this fan right here. And we have a controller. There we go. We have a controller that controls that too. So it opens up. We used it once when it was like 115 outside when we were in Vegas, and this whole Airstream was really hot. So we came on, turned that thing on. It sucks out all the hot air, and then you turn on the AC so it helps it a little bit. These are the different controller. All of this, you can control it individually and all of that. So I'm not gonna go too in depth on this thing right here. This is the Audi. So the Audi controls all the heater. So the central heater and the hot water heater is on this screen right here. And right now it is showing 53 degrees. And when you click on the menu, it goes to this screen. So to turn on the heater, you just pretty much, as I was told, to increase the temperature, and that's it. This right here turns on the hot water. So when you're ready to have hot water, you turn that on. But before you do this, you have to turn on the propane if you're not plugged in. Or if you plugged in and you want to use propane, you could also do both. This thing is really ridiculous, this whole screen, because it's green and blue. Why can't they make it red and green? Red is off and green is on. When it's blue and green, you don't even know which one is on. So when you turn it on, it turns green. So right now the propane should be on. And when it's off, it's blue. This is the US, just make it red and green. It's very easy if it's like that. But the stupidest thing is that when you click right here, I don't know exactly what this control. If it's on, it doesn't tell you that it's on. It's still blue. This should be turning green if that's the case. I wish they would just get rid of this and put it here. That's all we need is this screen right here and make it bigger, like a Tesla screen. That would be nice. So we left our Airstream with the service team for about 3 weeks, asking them to just go over everything to make sure everything is working properly. And when we went to pick it up, they reassured us that everything should be working properly. So we brought it home. And a month later, we decided to take a pre-winter trip to Yellowstone. And that night, the heater failed completely. So we're gonna take it in again today. And I don't know, my husband and I are at the point where we're just, so we sell this Airstream. We really like being in it when everything is working. But at the rate that we're having, it just every single time we're going on a trip, we don't have hot water or heater when you're like in the middle of Yellowstone and it's like 25 degrees outside. Yeah, it's impossible. And then you don't have AC when it's 100 degrees in Las Vegas. It's just like, it's unusable. You can't use it. Sorry, I don't mean for this to be a rant video. I just am really frustrated with this because it shouldn't be this way. I mean, this is a really expensive trailer and Airstream is a really good company, so I don't know why. But I just want to show you that even though you buy a brand new Airstream, this could happen. Maybe it's just our luck. I don't know. So we're gonna bring it in one more time, and if we encounter another problem, it's just like, okay, time for something else because we don't have time to keep bringing it in, and it's just insane. So after doing some research, I found out because we don't have Glycol, and the Glycol is all the way back here. So this is where the Glycol is, and they have like a wooden plaque here to cover all of this. So the Glycol is completely down. So that's the reason why the heater is not turning on, which is odd because when we brought it in on the second service, they were checking the heating and the hot water, and they should have refilled that because that was completely open. They didn't even screw it back on. So either that thing is leaking or they never filled the Glycol. So that might be the issue. Well, that's definitely the issue why we don't have heater. I actually contact Airstream support. They have really great support, but you only can contact them Monday through Friday, I think 8 a.m. to like 5 p.m. Eastern time because they're in Ohio. And we were at Yellowstone on Saturday, or we got in Friday night. So I tried to contact them and they didn't respond until Monday, today. And they're like, well, did you check the Glycol? And I was like, you know, we didn't check it, but it should be full. So I went in and checked it and it was completely down. So that's why we didn't have heater. I have to say the Airstream service has been great. It's just, you know, there are people, so they will make mistakes like that right there. But it just ruined your whole experience. I mean, like if you take this on a whole month trip like we're planning to do with this Airstream, we can't afford for it to break down because somebody didn't do their job properly. And I'm not saying that Airstream didn't do it, I don't know. So when you pick up your Airstream from service, just make sure you kind of walk through it. Like make them walk through all the problems that you were having before, turn on everything, and make sure that's unplugged while they're doing that, because when it's hooked up, everything is working for us every time we have hookup. It's just when we're off grid and we don't have any power to hook up into, that's when all the problems occurred. So I just want to clarify that. So on to Airstream we go. And hopefully this will be the last time we have to bring it in. We will give it one more chance. This is my one job. Yep, go ahead. And then we're gonna rinse it out over there with that hose. There we go. We're just dumping the black and gray water before we take it into service. So another thing we found out is another issue on this, the third service, is that the water gauge is wrong. It was showing around I believe 60 something or 80 something percent, and there's no water coming out. This Airstream has been a love and hate relationship for me. When I'm not in the Airstream, I'm planning where to go next, how long to go for. I get myself really excited to be in the Airstream again. And once we're in the Airstream and encounter all these problems, I just can't wait to be home again. So I just want to get to the point where when we go on a trip, we know the Airstream is working 100%. You can never know, but at least the most common thing, electrical, heater, AC, that should all be working most of the time. So a lot of people always ask me, why would you live in this tiny little ice cube when you have a nice home? And it's just part of being outdoor. I don't know how to describe it. It's an experience to be able to take the Airstream and just go anywhere. Like when you wake up and you're surrounded by beauty, it costs a lot to buy a property with a mountain view or the lake views. So it's worth it for me at the end to able to have this Airstream and move it around to beautiful scenery. Even though with all of our trouble, it's kind of worth it in my head for right now if we could get this stupid heater fixed.
Famous Amy, how are you?
I was hoping that it's going to be a quick fix with the Glycol, but we would have to leave this here because of the water system and some electrical thing that they want to check. So we had them winterized for the winter, and now it's sitting in this hanger. The reason why I'm making this video because I completely lost confidence with this Airstream. It's like every time when I'm planning a trip somewhere, there's something in the back of my mind say, what is the next thing that can go wrong? And it just, you know, you shouldn't feel that way when you buy like a brand new RV, but maybe it is the case. I don't know. Maybe we just got a really bad RV. So this is my personal experiences and opinion. I know that a lot of people may not agree with me, but please keep the comment section positive and respectful. I just pray that we won't encounter another issue on our next trip. I don't know when that would be, but hopefully soon. Thank you for watching. Until next time.